Okay, we are going to find x and y intercepts of some equations in standard form, linear functions in standard form, and we are going to use those to graph these linear equations here. So they could ask you either for an x-intercept or a y-intercept, or they could just ask you to graph something in standard form. So standard form is ax plus by equals c, and a, b, and c are just numbers here. So to do this, you can see in that top right-hand corner, I wrote down what you have to do. I'm going to write important things up there that are pretty much the key takeaway you should get away from these videos when I make these. So to find an x-intercept just is where it crosses the x-axis. To do that, I'm going to make y equals 0. So this is how I show my work to do that. I'm going to write x-intercept, I'm going to make y equals 0. To find my y-intercept, I'm going to make x equals 0. So over here, I'm going to write y-intercept, x equals 0. That just means I'm going to find where it crosses the y-axis. So just like when we tested solutions, I'm going to write my equation. And I'm going to replace y with 0 now. When I substitute 0 for y, I have to put it in parentheses. Now, 3 times 0 is just 0. That goes away. I have 2x left on this side, and I have 18 left on this side. This is now a problem where I need to draw a balance line, and I need to solve it. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. So this says 2 times x, so I'm going to divide both sides by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so I'm left with 1x. 18 divided by 2 is 9. So we get x equals 9. That is our x-intercept. I'm going to put a dot on 9 on the x-intercept because it told me x is 9. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to write my equation. But now I'm trying to find my y-intercept, so I'm going to make x equals 0. So I'm going to erase x, and I'm going to put 0. I know it's a pain to erase this after you've written it down, but it really is a great way to keep track of your work and make sure you're not making a mistake. So 2 times 0 is 0. I'm left with 3y equals 18. Draw your balance line. And this says 3 times y, so I'm going to divide by 3. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. I'm left with 1y here. And on the other side, I'm left with 6. So I can put a point on 6 up here. Now, my line is not going to be perfect on here, but I can use these points now to make a line. Couple things. Yes, I know this is not a perfect line, but notice here I did continue this to the edge of the graph, okay, because this goes in both sides or both directions forever, and I also put arrows on the end just to really assure you that this does go in both directions forever, and that's it. That's how you find an x-intercept and a y-intercept. If you show your work like this on a test, you show me how you found the x-intercept, you show me how you found the y-intercept, you're going to have no problems with getting full credit on that problem. Now you go ahead and pause the video and try this one. It really is important for you to pause this and try it and get as far as you possibly can, because struggling through problems is where learning happens. When you come back and you see the answer, if you haven't tried it, it's just seeing another problem. If you have tried it, you're going to have an aha moment. If you got it wrong or you didn't know where to go, you're going to have the aha moment of, oh, that's how I was supposed to do that. You're going to learn from it. A lot of learning happens when you struggle in math. So go ahead and pause it and try this problem. Okay, so I am going to find my x-intercept, and I'm going to find my y-intercept. To find my x-intercept, y has to equal 0. So I'm going to write my equation, and I'm going to replace y with 0. This becomes 0, and I'm left with 5x equals 18. Draw your balance line. This is 5 times x, so I'm going to divide by 5. So x, 1x equals, oh no, we have a situation where we would have a decimal. We do not want this when we are graphing x-intercepts and y-intercepts to graph an equation. It's just not great practice because we can't be very accurate with that. I'm going to get a decimal here, and I don't know about you, but I don't know how to graph a decimal on here. It's not going to be exactly where it needs to be. I could approximate it, but it's just not going to be a great graph. So this is when you do not want to use this method. If you get a decimal for an x-intercept or a y-intercept, you have to shift gears. What you're instead going to do is write this in the form of y equals mx plus b, which just means we're going to take all of this stuff away from y and we're going to move it to the other side. So here's how I do that. First, draw a balance line. And this says positive 5x, so I can just subtract 5x and move it to the other side. The 5x is moved, we're left with negative 3y equals negative 5x plus 18. I'm writing the x piece first because it's y equals mx plus b. Now this is negative 3 times y, so I'm going to divide by negative 3. If I do that, I have to divide every single thing by negative 3. On this side, I'm left with 1y. And then here we have a negative divided by a negative, which is a positive. So we have 5/3 x. And then we have 18 divided by negative 3, which is negative 6. So now we can graph this. And if you're unsure on how to graph this, make sure you see the video that is graphing in y equals mx plus b form or slope-intercept form, because I do go over that there as well. So this means the y-intercept is negative 6. I can put a point on negative 6. And then this is my rise. This is my run. So from that y-intercept, I'm going to go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to run 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to put a point there. These are the only points I need because to graph a line, I just need 2 points. And I can draw my line. Any other points would just add to the same line that's already there.